Schools across Canada are now adapting their curriculum, bringing different cultures and histories into the classroom. In Toronto, the Catholic District School Board is now integrating Filipino culture into lesson plans. The Filipino community is one of the fastest growing immigrant communities in the Toronto area. Listen to this, some schools have a nearly 90% Filipino population. Marissa Largo is a teacher. She helped develop the program. Chanelle Cabrera is a student. Thank you both so much for being here and joining us this morning to walk us through what this is all about. All right, Marissa, so maybe explain a little bit about what the aim is to help students here.
Sure. So the PASAC project is a collaboration between the Toronto Catholic School Board and York University. And the goal of the PASAC project is to mainstream Filipino culture and experiences as a way to provide Filipino students with a sense of pride, to affirm their identities.
Why did you see such a need for this?
Well, there's, as you said in the beginning, that there are some schools with up to 90% Filipino students in the Toronto Catholic School Board. The Filipino community in Canada is the fourth largest visible minority group, and it is the #1 source of immigrants to Canada. So there is a growing need for this type of curriculum in school boards like the Toronto Catholic School Board.
So Chanelle, what kind of stuff are you learning? Tell us a little bit about what you're learning.
Well, we've been learning about remittances, GDP, and we've also been learning about a bit of history about the Norwegian company that tried to put a mine in one of the villages in the Philippines.
And I'm sure when you come home, you can have these conversations with family members about what you're learning in the classroom and not make it so much of sort of a one-off appreciation of a certain culture, but really injecting into the actual lesson plan about the culture.
Absolutely. So it's really about mainstreaming this knowledge and culture. It's not just this one-off kind of multicultural festival, but it's a way to affirm these identities in the classroom every day and to connect what's happening in the classroom to what's happening in the home for Filipino students.
And Marissa, York University research suggested that Filipino youth are not excelling, I guess, as much as other immigrant populations. So is this the hope, obviously, to change this in the future?
Well, the curriculum is aspirational. So there is a segment in the curriculum where we talk about Filipino-Canadian role models who are doing these amazing interventions in politics, law, music, the arts. And so it provides students of Filipino descent visions of possible pathways in the future. So in that way, it's aspirational.
Chanelle, how are you enjoying it?
I'm really enjoying it because I get to learn more about my culture because I don't really know that much about my heritage. So it's really nice that the curriculum is teaching us more about it. So it's really enjoyable and it makes me more intrigued about work.
Do you find you're asking your family more questions about your background?
Yeah, I really do feel like I'm asking more questions and now I get to learn more about my background.
Is your family asking you about what you're learning now in the classroom?
Yeah, sometimes they ask.
Because it goes both ways, right?
Absolutely.
That conversation with families around the dinner table about what you're learning at school that day.
Right, and it makes the integration between school and home flawless, seamless.
And what about the children who are not of Filipino background? What's been the response there?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that was a consideration that the curriculum writers had when we were designing this curriculum. We tried to design lessons so that students of other ethnicities could engage in the activity. So for example, there's an activity called the Jeepney Project.
Yeah, show us what's happening here.
So the Jeepney Project is a way to talk about Canadian identity. So in the grade 6 social studies curriculum, Canadian identity is a huge element. And so the Jeepney is this American military vehicle that was retrofitted to be a form of public transportation in the Philippines. And as you can see from the images, it's a very flamboyant work of art, really. And so we use this as a symbol to talk about how students of all ethnicities are traveling through the world as global citizens. So they include elements of their identity on the jeepney. They talk about particular role models from their ethnocultural community. They talk about where they want to go in the future. So on the jeepney, this is where their destination is. So they can imagine where they see themselves in the future.
So is this every student does this?
Yeah, so this is
that's
part of the
neat.
grade 6 curriculum.
neat.
So.
Oh, very cool. I'm glad you brought that in. And I'm glad you both were available to come in and talk about this today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsey.
All right, good luck. And good luck with summer plans. I asked Chanelle what her summer plans were. And what are they?
Sleeping
Sleep.
in.
Sleep. Don't we all wish that? Okay. Thank you both for being here.